What happens when your street takeover meets Georgia State Patrol? Let's just say rubber wasn't the only thing burned that night. On July 31st, 2021, a trooper spotted a Chrysler 300 doing donuts in the middle of a busy Atlanta intersection. Blue lights flipped on, but instead of pulling over, the driver hit the gas.
1080 southbound on Jonesboro. Paul Frank Henry 367. Black car, your races right now. We are crossing over Brownsville. Coming to traffic. He's alongside the road. Good, no traffic. Got green line right here across Middle Constitution. Still on Jonesboro Road.
The driver began pushing dangerous speeds, weaving past cars and ignoring traffic signals like they didn't exist. For a moment, it looked like he might actually outrun them. But this is GSP we're talking about, and they don't quit.
Brakes clear all the way down. Crossing Lois Lane. Got units coming right here in front of him.
Even with backup units joining the pursuit, the odds weren't exactly in the troopers' favor. But as the pressure built, the suspect started slipping, one reckless swerve at a time. And when you're running from GSP, one mistake is all it takes.
Crossing under 85, northbound on Metropolitan. Clear northbound Metro across 85. Westbound on Ferguson Road. Clear westbound on Ferguson for Metro. Crossing Quaker.
Two flat tires, yeah.
Clear crossing Quaker Street on Metro for Ferguson for North Metro Road.
Oh, get on the house. Here. Oh, you don't. Oh, man.
We are north 166. We're going about 80. Setting up for a fit, 42, good attempt. Failed. Setting up again, we'll cross under Pryor Road. He's going to try to pin him again. Clear northbound, approach your fire, and step for a second fit.
Good. Look out.
It's successful, 50.
A forceful pit sent the Chrysler spinning off the road and into a parked truck. The driver bailed, fleeing on foot, but you don't outrun Georgia State Patrol for long. With APD's help, he was tracked down, arrested, and booked into Fulton County Jail.
Again, we're staying on top of breaking news for you at this hour. It's of a man that was killed during a police chase in Arkansas.
West Memphis, Arkansas sits right on the border with Tennessee, making it a hotspot for drug trafficking and interstate crime. On December 19, 2023, an Arkansas state trooper assisting a drug task force in West Memphis found himself in a high-stakes pursuit of a suspect wanted on multiple felony warrants. Trooper Byrd executed a pit at 140 miles per hour, but the impact sent his own vehicle into a guardrail and then into the trailer of a truck. The suspect, 43-year-old Mario Page, also hit the guardrail, but his car went over the edge, coming to rest at the bottom of an embankment. Sadly, Page did not survive the crash due to injuries suffered in a wreck. We usually know how these stories go. Traffic stop, lights come on, and the suspect either pulls over or runs. But what happens when the running starts before the stop even begins? Well, on September 30th, 2022, a trooper spotted a white Jeep Grand Cherokee merging onto I-85 North from Cleveland Avenue at a high rate of speed. The Jeep kept accelerating, weaving through lanes without signaling. The trooper got behind it and clocked the speed at 94 miles per hour in a 55 zone. But before a stop could even be attempted, the driver gunned it, crossing the Gore area and fleeing into the night. As the chase progressed, the suspect showed no signs of slowing down, driving recklessly at high speeds and showing zero regard for anyone else on the road. As the suspect began to slow down, the passenger suddenly jumped out of the vehicle, and little did he know, that would turn out to be the best decision he has ever made.
He's not in the car. Here he is. Here he is. Here he is.
When troopers arrived at the crash scene, the Jeep was overturned and engulfed in flames. One trooper grabbed a fire extinguisher and managed to put out the blaze. As the chaos unfolded, two unresponsive males were located nearby. Near the crash site, troopers also found a broken and bloody AR-15 rifle, later turned over as evidence. The two deceased suspects were identified as Broderick Dunn and Marion Clotter. The lone survivor, the passenger who jumped out moments before the crash, was identified as Montavious Lovejoy. He was taken to Grady Hospital with a gunshot wound he had sustained prior to the pursuit. It was March 29, 2024, when a Florida Highway Patrol trooper spotted a silver BMW flying up I-95's express lanes in Miami-Dade. The driver wasn't just speeding, he was using the left shoulder as his personal racetrack, putting everyone around him in danger. The trooper tried loudspeaker commands, but the BMW had no intentions of stopping.
over right now. Pull over right now. BMW, pull over right now. Tag is going to be November Golf X-Ray Alpha. Speed starting to slow down, traffic heavy, medium significant.
With the packed interstate ahead, the suspect was going all over the road, squeezing through gaps that didn't exist, and somehow making it work. But compared to what he would do throughout this chase, this was nothing. Watch closely because this is another level of chase. The chaos in Florida continued as the BMW ripped down the shoulder, threading past cars like they were cones. Then, in a bold move, the suspect overtook another trooper on the highway. That trooper immediately took over as primary, locking onto the BMW with one goal in mind: to do what the first trooper couldn't, bring this reckless pursuit to an end.
94 miles an hour express. On the overpass for Hollywood now. Overpass of Hollywood. We gotta play, we gotta play, we gotta play. Stop for vehicle finish. Anytime north on overpass by Hollywood. We gotta play, we gotta play, we gotta play. Stop for vehicle finish.
The trooper made the call, lining up and executing a pit that finally ended the chaos, but it came at a cost. 2 innocent vehicles were struck in the process, raising the question, was it worth it, or should the trooper have waited for a better moment? Write your opinions down in the comments. The suspect, identified as Jacqueline Maxon, was taken into custody and now faces charges of reckless fleeing, eluding police, and resisting an officer without violence. She was transported to the Turner Guilford Knight Correctional Center on an $8,150 bond. Fortunately, the innocent drivers caught in the collision were not injured. Most people spend New Year's Eve planning parties or watching the ball drop, but Kayla Cervantes decided to run from the cops with a car full of fentanyl, meth, and heroin. On December 31st, 2024, Moore police located a wanted suspect, 35-year-old Kayla Cervantes. When officers tried to pull her over, she had other plans.
Get over. West on service road, westbound. Okay, we're getting on 240 westbound.
construction zone and packed traffic. For most people, that's a reason to slow down, but Kayla Cervantes seemed like she didn't have a problem with that, and what she did next showed exactly how little she cared for anyone's safety.
Exit on Walker, westbound, it's a white Dodge Ram pickup. He's gonna come back northbound on Walker, northbound.
Clear northbound Walker.
Through the Casey's gas station parking lot. Now Johnny's still in the parking lot. Right there. Out to the service road.
Clear eastbound.
Up the curve going back. West on.
As the suspect blasted out of the parking lot, another patrol car took over as primary, and this chase had spiraled out of control a long time ago. With lives at risk and chaos unfolding by the second, officers knew this had to end. Now.
TBI crash, start medical, 240 in May, start medical.
Clear TBI 240 in May.
Kayla Cervantes, a wanted felon carrying a stash of fentanyl, meth, heroin, and drug paraphernalia, was pulled from the wreck and taken into custody without further incident. She was medically cleared at the hospital and booked into jail. Thankfully, no officers or civilians were injured in what could have easily been a tragic ending. It was September 6, 2023 in Sherwood, Arkansas, when a man steals a Jeep from a hospital parking lot. But this isn't just a case of grand theft auto. The suspect, suffering from a clear mental health crisis, takes off, forcing local police and state troopers into a dangerous pursuit across the interstate.
For you. What's up, man?
Trooper Dakota Davis wasted no time once he took over the pursuit, and he executed a hard pit maneuver that immediately stopped the fleeing Jeep. His cruiser struck the barrier in the process, but the suspect was stopped. Trooper Davis then jumped out and moved in to arrest the suspect.
Drop! Get clear! Drop! Get out! Get out! Get down! Get down! Get on the ground! Get on the ground, man! Hey, what's up, Tyson? Yo, cops, look, guys watching it.
The suspect refused to comply and had to be tased before finally being taken into custody by Sherwood PD and ASP working together. The man later told authorities he had taken the vehicle from a family member. With a history of mental health struggles, It's clear this was more than just a pursuit. It was a moment where quick thinking and restraint likely saved lives on both sides of the law. It was December 20th, 2023, when Atlanta police responded to a shots-fired call. Witnesses said a man in a gray Jeep Cherokee had stopped in front of a building and opened fire before fleeing. Miraculously, no one was hit. But the story didn't end there. As investigators were still processing shell casings on the ground, the suspect made the mistake of circling back toward the crime scene. Officers quickly picked him up and attempted a traffic stop. Instead, the driver released a passenger and took off, leading police on a high-speed pursuit.
King Ray Super mission to pick
That female house just jumped up down. You didn't got right into the North Park Police, they gonna go. Fisher, you enter, you supervisor. Okay, we got it.
The chase tore through Atlanta streets, with Burris weaving recklessly until he made a fatal mistake. As officers rushed forward, the real danger revealed itself. 3 young children were inside the vehicle the entire time, and officers on the scene were left in shock. The kids were quickly moved to safety and treated for complaints of pain, while Burris still resisted from behind the wheel.
Oh my God. Here, come on. Stay right, 9:55, I'm late. Come on. I want my mommy. Come on. You're okay. You're okay.
Get out the car. Come on, let's go. Listen, I got you. Hey man, listen. Just bring your body. Hold on. Let's pull this open. There we go. I got you. Stand by. Come on, get on the ground. Down on the ground. On the ground. Get him secured.
Please. I give up. Come on.
The driver was identified as 39-year-old William Burris, a convicted felon with 37 prior arrest cycles. He now faces a staggering list of charges, including kidnapping, cruelty to children, aggravated assault, and possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. On January 19, 2023, Georgia State Patrol joined a rapidly evolving pursuit just outside Savannah. Chatham County officers had attempted to stop a white Nissan Murano with a shattered rear window, but the driver wasn't stopping for anyone. She tore through residential neighborhoods, drove through a backyard, and fled into traffic. When troopers caught up, it was clear this wasn't going to end with a simple citation.
538, I'll be 1080. Georgia 204, Grove Point Road. It's a white Nissan Murano. Tall Metal John 712, TAJ 712. Just ran from Chatham. This vehicle just 1080 from Chatham. Did you initiate?
Richard, we're 1080. Don't worry about who initiated. We're trying to chase this car right now. Go. Okay. Let's get some speed. Hold on. Just let it go for a second. We want to get a little bit more speed before we try to pin this thing.
With I-95 approaching, an area known for heavy traffic and nearby homeless encampments, Troopers knew they had to act.
Hold on. Stop. Slow down. Let me get past. Okay, go. We're setting up the pit. 204 eastbound. Hit it. Hit it. Stop. Okay, hold on. Get in the middle of the road.
A pit maneuver was attempted, but the SUV slipped off the bumper, swerving uncontrollably before slamming into a concrete barrier. The impact launched the vehicle into a rollover. The driver, who wasn't wearing a seatbelt, was ejected and left motionless in the roadway. First responders rushed to the scene, and the 41-year-old Amy Humans Paget was still breathing when medics arrived. Despite efforts to stabilize her, she later died from her injuries at the hospital. Her decision to run turned deadly, serving as a tragic reminder of how quickly high-speed chases can spiral beyond control. On March 20th, 2025, 54-year-old Joe Versi led law enforcement on a high-speed pursuit stretching from Poinsett County to Crittenden County, Arkansas. It began with a reckless driving stop. When Poinsett County deputies tried to pull him over, Versi refused, and the chase was on. Harrisburg police joined in before Arkansas State Police stepped in. The trooper's high-speed pit sent the suspect's vehicle spinning into the median, disabled, smoking, and on fire. But the chaos didn't end there. Trapped inside the burning vehicle, the suspect refused to comply with officers, and that's when the intense standoff began.
He's in the very back of the vehicle. In the very back, and we can't see him. He's moving around back there, reaching for something. And anybody got a way of busting these windows out? Get out of the car! Left lethal! Left lethal! Left lethal! Left lethal! Left lethal! That's it! Out! Out! Get out! Get out of the vehicle now! Get out! Get out! Get out of the vehicle now! Let me see your hands! No! Let me see your hands! Show me your hands! Show me your hands now! Show me your hand! Show me your hands! Can you see the other one? No, I can't see the other one!
Officers believed there were two suspects inside, but only one could be seen. He refused to surrender. Despite repeated commands and multiple taser deployments, he held his ground. But as they moved in to pull him from the burning vehicle, he opened fire.
Fire! Anybody hit? Get back! Anybody hit? Back! Out!
To make scene. They were still attempting to get him out of the vehicle.
No one's hit! All good here! All good! I got you. I cover you.
After a violent exchange of gunfire, officers were forced to retreat. Minutes of tense silence followed until backup arrived. Then, with shields up and weapons drawn, they made their move.
Ryan, cover this side.
Right.
We'll move up. We're moving slightly. Ryan's going to cover this side. We'll move up.
Three to 22, give me your exact location.
Both are empty.
We're about 100 yards in.
Pull him out.
Yeah, I got you.
I got it. Pull him. Pull him out of the way. Get away from me.
Are you good?
I'm good. I'm absolutely good.
Whoa! I got you.
After an intense standoff, the suspect was pronounced dead at the scene. Thankfully, no officers were injured. This incident is yet another reminder of the dangers law enforcement faces and how deadly things can turn when someone chooses to fight the law. Had the suspect simply complied, he'd still be alive. But instead, he pulled a gun and opened fire, and that was the last mistake he ever made. On December 4th, 2020, ASP Trooper James Ray was dispatched to assist a highway patrol officer during a traffic stop. As he approached the passenger side, the driver suddenly took off. While rushing back to his vehicle, Trooper Ray slipped in the wet grass and fell, but that didn't stop him. He got up and, alongside the highway patrol officer, joined the pursuit without hesitation. When the pit was executed, it caused the suspect to spin out, and for a moment it looked like that was the end of it. But somehow the suspect managed to recover and kept on fleeing, refusing to give up.
Okay, we're coming. Now, did you say he was losing a guy or had lost dog?
Yeah, lost it, yeah. We tried to stop a second ago. And he was having some issues. I'm head on with this vehicle right now.
Get out of the vehicle! Get out of the vehicle! Get out of the vehicle! Get out of the vehicle!
Trooper Ray made a split-second decision and positioned his vehicle head-on in front of the fleeing suspect. With no room left to run, the two collided, ending the pursuit. Brian Starnes initially resisted arrest but was eventually taken into custody. He was booked into the Franklin County Detention Center and charged with felony fleeing, aggravated assault on a law enforcement officer, resisting arrest, driving on a suspended license, and being a habitual offender. It was July 18, 2024, when Trooper Cass spotted a black sedan weaving through lanes on I-630. Radar clocked it at 77 in a 60-mile-per-hour zone. The driver claimed she was rushing her child to the doctor, but before any info could be confirmed, she hit the gas and fled the scene.
Breckenridge
She stormed into Pleasant Valley, ignoring every stop sign like they weren't even there. Speeds hit 90 miles per hour as she tore through quiet neighborhoods, turning what should have been a calm street into a racetrack. At that point, this wasn't just about fleeing, it was putting lives at serious risk. But Trooper Cass stayed close, waiting for the right moment to end it.
Push the lights off.
Thank you.
Come to home capital. Take a left home capital, going west home capital. Still speed and traffic. Going south on 430, south on 430. Traffic light, D60.
Once the suspect hit the interstate and pushed past 100 miles per hour, Trooper Cass saw an opportunity she couldn't let slide.
Started 10:16 and 10:11 vehicles rolled in the median. Subject been ejected.
Trooper Cass executed pit that sent the car into the guardrail and rolling into the median. The driver, Diviana Bullock, was ejected from the vehicle and rushed to the hospital. She survived, but the charges are stacking up. Once released, she was booked for felony fleeing, reckless driving, obstruction, and more. On September 15th, at 4:25 in the morning, the Gandy Bridge in Pinellas County, quiet waters below, headlights cutting across the span, and one driver who decided the law didn't apply to him. A Florida Highway Patrol trooper clocked a vehicle weaving and speeding across the bridge, and when the lights came on, the driver made his choice to run. The trooper's push sent the car spinning, metal screeching as it came to a violent stop. The vehicle was destroyed and the suspect's run was over. Inside, troopers found not just the driver but his girlfriend. Both were quickly secured and placed in the patrol car. But even in cuffs, the girlfriend tried to slip free from the restraints in one last attempt at defiance.
I'm so sorry, bro. I love you so much. Stop. Give me gifts, please. I love you. I'm gonna jump over the bridge. No. Tighten up, bro. Tighten up, baby. Baby, please stop. I swear to God, I'm gonna bond you out, bro. If anything happens, bro, I swear to God, we straight, bro. Just stop. Don't. Bro, do not say anything, bro. We straight, bro. I promise you. Baby, stop. Don't do that. You're gonna get more charges, bro.
myself still. Gotta go today.
Squeeze.
Crazy.
Fuck, I just got tighter. Tell me next time.
Oh, Morty.
I'm gonna get hurt, bro.
I can't.
Baby, stop.
Even after all the chaos, the suspect and his girlfriend tried one last time to find a way out, but there was nowhere left to run. Both were taken into custody without further incident, and the driver, LaBoy Brandon, now faces charges of fleeing and eluding. On March 16, 2022, Tallahassee, Florida, what begins as a routine traffic stop quickly transforms into something far more dangerous. Troopers spot a vehicle driving recklessly through the city, endangering everyone on the road. When they move in to intervene, the driver makes a choice that will change everything. The pursuit ends violently when the trooper executes a decisive maneuver, sending the suspect's vehicle straight into a tree before it ricochets back into the patrol car. Within moments, the suspect is pulled from the wreckage and taken into custody without further incident. The streets fall silent again, and another lesson is etched into the asphalt. When you run from Florida troopers, the chase may end suddenly and brutally. It was May 9th, 2023, in Jonesboro, Arkansas. What started as a simple traffic stop for improper registration exploded into one of the most destructive pursuits Arkansas State Police saw that year. Behind the wheel of a stolen GMC Yukon was 50-year-old Timmy Lynn Davis of Lake City. What followed was chaos. Fences smashed, cars rammed, and even a carjacking at gunpoint. When troopers lit him up on I-555, Davis hit the gas.
He's driving pretty reckless. I'm going to back off at this intersection here.
The suspect tore through neighborhoods, across yards, and straight into the Nestle prepared foods plant, smashing through a chain-link fence. Inside, Davis and a female passenger ditched the Yukon and stole a Ford F-350 with a utility trailer at gunpoint. The chase reignited now with an even bigger, more dangerous vehicle.
He tried to fit, he couldn't do it.
Green Bay here with the heavy trailer.
Coming up to industrial.
341.
Chick-fil-A right now. Tried to spike him, unsuccessful right there. Coming by.
Your way. 24 Highland, your way. Going straight through southwest. MLK. Highland MLK. He just hit somebody here at Harrisburg Road in Highland. 10-4. 345. Got a crash. He's still going.
The number of pit attempts in this chase was absolutely insane. Troopers hit him again and again, but Davis just refused to give up, and this wasn't even close to the end. Every moment he was crashing through fences, smashing into cars, and dragging a trailer through city streets like a battering ram. Troopers tried everything to stop him without risking innocent lives, but with Davis behind the wheel, collisions were unavoidable. Just imagine you're on your way home from work, and suddenly a stolen truck and trailer come barreling past you, patrol cars right on its bumper, scenes straight out of a Hollywood movie playing out in real life. This wasn't just reckless, it was terrifying.
In this, if you can. We'll be eastbound on West Parker. Eastbound on West Parker. Coming traffic again. Depot, going to be approaching the intersection. Looks like he might be trying to get back on the interstate. He's about to hit the guardrail. He lost it when he went off the interstate.
Finally, Davis lost control and plunging into a water-filled ditch. He fled on foot only to be caught in a backyard minutes later. The aftermath was pure destruction. Vehicles smashed, fences torn down, and innocent drivers left with thousands in damages. Prosecutors tallied at least $85,805 in restitution, with more possibly to come. Circuit Judge Scott Ellington handed Davis a crushing sentence: 40 years in prison for theft by receiving over $25,000, 15 years for felony fleeing, plus 6 years suspended on other charges, including aggravated assault and criminal mischief. The Can-Am Spyder may look futuristic, but when you're riding one without tags, insurance, or a license, you're not going far, especially not in Georgia. On August 21st, 2022, Trooper Matthews spotted a Can-Am Spyder on I-85 with no license plate. As he initiated a stop, the driver pulled over but then suddenly hit the throttle and rejoined traffic, triggering a pursuit.
Aviation, you able to get overhead? Stand by, taking 400 north, 400 northbound. Coming past the MCCD unit on the shoulder, left shoulder. Got another trooper behind me. Whoever behind me, go ahead and call it.
As the chase progressed, the suspect didn't look worried. If anything, it looked like he was enjoying the ride, swerving across lanes, blasting down the highway like he was in a game of GTA. But here's the real question. How do you even stop a Can-Am Spyder? It's not a car, it's not a bike, and this was uncharted territory for troopers.
Going left. He's on the wrong side of the road, I'm on the correct side. Back northbound on 400.
At this point, the chase had been out of control for a while, and it was clear the suspect needed to be stopped before someone got hurt. A pit wasn't an option, too risky with a three-wheeled vehicle like that, so troopers went with the next best move, a coordinated box-in maneuver.
On the Lennox, exiting on the Lennox, gonna go right on Lennox. 1050 over the curb, Still going, crossing Lennox, back 400 northbound.
Get on the ground on your face! Get on your face!
With the box-in complete, the trooper drew his firearm and ordered the rider to the ground. To everyone's relief, Raheem Penn complied without a fight. Turns out the Can-Am wasn't just unregistered, it wasn't registered in any state. No insurance, no license, and Penn's driving privileges had already been suspended out of Ohio. He claimed he rented the vehicle from someone he couldn't name. The bike was impounded, and the suspect was taken straight to Atlanta City Jail, where the joyride finally came to an end. On April 16, 2025, troopers Garrett Byrd and Billy Puckett were running stationary patrol along Interstate 40 in Arkansas when a black Kia Optima blew past, its Tennessee tag showing they'd expired more than a year ago. Byrd pulled in behind the vehicle, but before a traffic stop could even begin, the driver made a sudden lane change without signaling. Moments later, when the blue lights came on, the Kia's response was not to slow down, but to rocket forward, straight into triple-digit speeds.
Oh, yeah. That's it.
Trooper Byrd executed the pit, slamming the Kia into the guardrail, but the suspect wasn't done, and with the hood now folded over the windshield blocking his view, he somehow pushed the damaged car back into the traffic lanes.
Seatbelt. We'll be up on the bridge. We'll get again up here.
The driver, later identified as Ronald Dortch of Memphis, Tennessee, was arrested. Even during handcuffing, he resisted by tensing up and trying to speak over the commands. A search confirmed he was alone in the vehicle. Dortch claimed he fled because his daughter had been shot, a claim officers could not confirm. With a revoked license, no insurance, and an expired registration, he was booked into the Crittenden County Jail on multiple charges, including felony fleeing and refusal to submit to arrest. On July 14, 2025, local police were in pursuit of a suspect who had fled after skipping out on a bill at a Waffle House. That's when State Trooper Keaton Racy jumped in, quickly taking over as the primary unit in the chase. What started as a dine and dash was about to turn into something much more serious.
22 Clark Boys, still eastbound.
That's where they just come to the middle of Knoxville eastbound.
Advising net direct, K-22 in pursuit.
This might be the shortest pursuit we've ever featured on the channel, but the outcome was crystal clear. The suspect, identified as Louis Black, was arrested and taken into custody without further incident. He was charged with fleeing, resisting arrest, obstruction, and an active warrant already waiting for him. On June 9th, 2024, what began as a calm day in Arkansas turned into one of the most talked about motorcycle chases in the state's history. It started when a rider was spotted without required safety gear. Moments later, the trooper lit up his patrol car, and from that point on, the quiet day was over.
Enforcement 1037. It's like an Asian male. We're passing Marshall from Roseville. Coming up to Ridgeway. Correction, straight on Midland. I'm bumping up to 6. 36. Alright, he's in the ditch. And he again. Passing North Pig.
The first pit attempt should have ended it, yet the suspect stayed on two wheels. Soon would came the second. Each one narrowly escaped. You could replay this chase and count every time the trooper tried to finish it. But the truth is, what you're about to witness is unlike anything you've ever seen before.
Crossing North 6, or North End North. Back on Midland. We're right. Going to be heading towards the downtown area if we stay right.
Back on this.
Past North End. We're passing the Wide Awake Cabinet to North A. Correction, North B. He's on the red light and proceeding through. We're coming right in front of the police department. Behind the jail.
The motorcyclist darted into a parking lot where a fresh wave of pit maneuvers was about to unfold. But don't worry, because this was just the beginning.
Headed back to Wheeler. We're in a parking lot here. Still behind the jail. Going in circles in a parking lot. Headed back towards Wheeler. Just past South Low. Speed's 110. We're passing the Dollar General South Y. Notify Oklahoma, we're right on 0.
Watching this, you'd think the chase might never end. But fresh units were closing in, ready to throw everything they had at stopping this maniac on a motorcycle. By now, this pursuit had blown past the point of control, and every second on the road was a gamble with someone's life.
How's your traffic?
Light traffic. We're passing the Rogers right now.
Going through a red light.
Hey, 7 got the lead. We're coming up to Garrison.
It seemed the only way this chase would end was if the rider made a mistake, and that moment finally came. One curve taken too fast sent him skidding out of control. He hit the ground, scrambled to get the bike upright, but the troopers were already there, ending it before he had a chance to run again.
Work it out, Dakota. I'm trying to take it back up. Then walk in, I'm coming behind you.
Get out! Hey, get down! Oh, because of that? Because of that? You're meter. That's it. I'll throw that on the ground and stomp on it.
When I got it, I think on my hand. Yeah.
The rider was finally taken into custody, ending the chaos. You can see the frustration on the troopers' faces, and who could blame them? If he hadn't lost control, this could have turned into a chase lasting hours. One thing's certain, he won't be climbing onto a motorcycle again anytime soon. The Dodge Scat Pack was fast, stolen, and already known for running from police. On August 19, 2024, Deputy Bradford with the Clayton County Sheriff's Office spotted the black Scat Pack on Bethsaida Road. Before he could even turn around to confirm the fake Texas temp tag, the driver hit the gas and took off, initiating yet another wild pursuit.
Hey, he's coming out 314. 314 heading towards 138. Alright, he's coming to you. Get ready. I'm catching up to him now. I'm right behind him. He's done ran from South Fulton multiple times. He's got a fake tag on the vehicle. It's like 34. Union City.
The suspect survived the pit, but not without damage. He lost a tire, and now with only 3 left, the real struggle began.
Again, he recovered. We're still going. Speed to 60, travel west, 138. Coming up double.
That pit brought the vehicle to a stop, but the suspect wasn't done. He jumped out and took off on foot, still refusing to surrender.
Black male treads. Stop! I'm releasing the dog! Stop! Tase him! Tase him! Tase him! Tase him! Black male, we got him. We got him.
The suspect, 20-year-old Marquez Milner, was taken into custody after a struggle in the undergrowth. A loaded Glock was found inside the vehicle, along with a strong odor of marijuana. And after further inspection, deputies discovered the VIN had been altered. The Dodge was stolen out of Georgia Tech PD. On December 26, 2022, in Garden City, Georgia, What began as a simple traffic stop for a missing taillight would reveal something far darker. Behind the black helmet and the speeding motorcycle was Steven Wilson, a wanted fugitive with multiple felony warrants and a revoked license. When troopers lit him up on GA-25, Wilson acted like he was pulling over, but it was just a trick. He dropped his body low and launched into a high-speed run, quickly hitting 113 miles per hour.
X-ray Tom Sam 891.
Suddenly, the chase ended in disaster. Wilson tried to merge back from the shoulder into traffic, but at that speed there was no room. He slammed into the rear of another vehicle, sending him tumbling into the left lane. Troopers rushed to save him, performing CPR on the pavement, but it was too late. Wilson succumbed to his injuries at the scene. The other motorist walked away unharmed, but the truth quickly came out. Wilson was no ordinary speeder. He was wanted for probation violation on drug charges, contempt of court for DUI, and as a federal escaped prisoner. A single missing taillight turned into a fatal pursuit, a stark reminder that for some fugitives, one bad choice behind the handlebars can be their last. Did you know that some Teslas can hit 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds? That's great for the track, but not so great when you're using it to flee from law enforcement. On July 12, 2023, Arkansas State Police were notified of a pursuit involving not one but 2 gray Teslas speeding eastbound on I-40. A deputy from St. Francis County was already engaged, and troopers quickly jumped into action.
That's 2 Teslas. One's past me. One just took the exit. All right, one's coming at you. You want to bring one to the exit? He took the exit behind me. Come on, get on. We're passing the get on the ramp. The Walmart exit. Right there, right lane. We're 5 miles down 3.
While Trooper Collins stayed locked on one of the fleeing Teslas, the second suspect had already peeled off at an earlier exit with other troopers hot on his tail. But we're sticking with Collins for this one because things are about to get crazy.
Looks like they parked it. Yeah, somebody's likely still in the rider. Go 40 on the shoulder, east on 40. Hold traffic, hit it.
TBI unsuccessful, go again.
Yeah, wait.
All right. TBI unsuccessful, 24 hours.
TBI,
TBI, TBI. He hit 24's car.
After several pit attempts, the suspect's Tesla was finally disabled. Before he could even think about running, troopers had him in custody. Turns out he borrowed the Tesla from his cousin, paid him $500 for a birthday trip to Dallas. Why not rent it himself? Well, you've got to be 25, and he wasn't quite there yet. In Charlotte County, Florida, on March 4th, 2024, a routine patrol turned into a high-speed pursuit when a white Dodge Charger with blacked-out tints refused to stop. Moments later, the Charger was flying down the I-75 at over 145 miles per hour, recklessly weaving through traffic and using the shoulder as his lane. With speeds climbing and danger mounting, Trooper Prosper took the lead, and with another trooper now locked into the pursuit, the chances of stopping this maniac in a Charger had just gone up. The Charger plunged into a ditch filled with water, coming to rest half submerged. Troopers rushed in with weapons drawn, forcing the suspects out at gunpoint. The driver was identified as Tobias Burchard Travio Cody and his passenger as Roosevelt Williams. Inside the Charger, troopers uncovered marijuana, drug paraphernalia, and a loaded handgun in the glove box. Cody was charged with aggravated fleeing, aggravated battery with a deadly weapon, and reckless driving causing damage. Both suspects were medically cleared before being booked into jail. On April 27, 2025, a trooper heard the roar of a motorcycle ripping down North State Line Avenue. It was a blue and white Suzuki, and the biker, later identified as Calop Reinhardt, wasn't wearing protective eyewear, a violation of Arkansas law. The trooper caught up at a red light, positioned himself next to the bike, and confirmed the motorcycle wasn't insured. He signaled Reinhardt to pull over, but the second that light turned green, Reinhardt dropped a gear, twisted the throttle, and took off.
1037. Speed's 90, westbound on St. Michael's in Texas. Original reason for the stop was no eye broke. Hopping on I-30.
Reinhardt took the chase to a whole new level, blasting down St. Michael Drive at 110 miles per hour, weaving through traffic like it was a video game. He showed no regard for anyone's safety, not even his own.
Mile marker speed's 97. He's giving it all it's got. Knocked him off the road. He's got back northbound on Larry Road.
25, do what you have to do to end it. We don't need to keep going anymore, else we'll just 22, but end it.
Pull over. Pull over. Pull over. We might be stopping at Bend Road.
Biker started signaling like he was about to slow down and pull over, but it was all a game. And if you think what he's done so far is stupid, just wait until you see his next move.
Updates, Texas. I'm on the phone with him right now.
Pull over. Going off-road near Bend Road.
Reinhardt was finally clipped by a pit at low speed and crashed into the woods. He tried to run but was tased and taken into custody after a short foot chase. Out of breath and smelling of alcohol, Reinhardt admitted he ran for the fun of it and even bragged about getting away last November. He was taken to the hospital, gave a blood sample, and was charged with DWI, reckless driving, fleeing, and multiple traffic violations. It was June 15th, 2021, in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, when a Milwaukee police spotted a vehicle reported stolen, and when officers closed in to confirm it, the driver showed no signs of stopping. Instead, the situation exploded into a pursuit. But what shocked everyone wasn't just the reckless driving, it was who was behind the wheel. The suspect was only 16 years old, and what followed became one of the most unforgettable pursuits in the city's history.
PI 5766 North 99th Street. Female fell off the vehicle.
Kia Sportage, Wisconsin plate 592, X-ray Union Tom. Going to be occupied by two juveniles. We're in Tom. I got some traffic on my side. We're going to be westbound on Good Hope from 99th Street. We're currently 30 miles an hour. We're going to be doing a U-turn, and we're cutting back to go west, or correction, east on Good Hope, slowing down. This car is swept through. 20 miles an hour, road conditions good, traffic is light. Going to be passing 91st Street. It is now in oncoming traffic.
As the stolen vehicle swerved directly into oncoming traffic, headlights flashed and horns blared as innocent drivers were forced to swerve out of the way. The young suspect showed no hesitation, pushing the stolen car head-on into danger at speeds that could have ended lives in seconds. Realizing the gravity of the situation, officers immediately called for every available unit to converge on the area.
Disregarding the light and still eastbound good. Back into normal lanes of traffic, and it is back into oncoming traffic. Still eastbound, coming up to Park, Traffic can get stop sticks at 60th and Good Hope. Going to be northbound on 60th. Good. From Good Hope, speeds are 40 miles an hour. Road conditions good. Traffic is light. Northbound 60th Street. Great use. Good. Coming back to 60th Street. Lights are diminished, and we're now going to be doing another U-turn on Bradley at 60th, going back west on Bradley.
What stood out in this pursuit wasn't just the suspect's recklessness, but the officer's composure. Even with a teenager driving head-on into traffic at high speeds, the officer kept his voice calm over the radio, relaying location, direction, and every maneuver in real time. It was a textbook example of control under pressure, but with that calmness came restraint. The officer held back, never committing to a physical stop. Maybe it was caution, maybe it was waiting for the right opening, but that hesitation would prove costly, because the next time the suspect darted into oncoming traffic, he didn't correct course. He never came back into his lane.
It is now in oncoming traffic. Traffic is light, road conditions good, speeds are 60 miles an hour.
4212, cancel. 4281, cancel the pursuit, 4212.
Crash, we need medical.
The stolen car slammed head-on into an innocent motorist. The impact was violent, metal twisted, glass shattered, and the pursuit came to a crushing halt. Officers rushed in, pulling the teenage driver and his passenger from the wreck and placing them under arrest. But inside the struck vehicle was 18-year-old Terry, on his way to a Milwaukee Bucks game with a friend. He had nothing to do with the chase, nothing to do with the chaos. He was just in the wrong place at the worst possible time. Terry was rushed to a nearby hospital, but despite every effort, he was later pronounced dead. 5 people in total were injured in the crash, but they survived. One reckless decision not only took Terry's life, but also shattered his family's world, left friends grieving, and sealed the suspect's fate forever. What could have been just a traffic stop turned into one of Milwaukee's most heartbreaking pursuits. Failing to wear a seatbelt is one of the most common traffic violations, but adding high speeds and no insurance can quickly turn a minor stop into a major chase. On February 22, 2025, Trooper Bird was patrolling I-630 near University Avenue when he spotted a gold Honda Accord with no insurance and both occupants unbuckled. When Bird tried to pull them over, the driver hit the gas, pushing the speeds into the 80s and refusing to yield, turning a simple traffic stop into a full-blown pursuit. Bird moved in and executed a precise TVI, sending the car into a concrete barrier. The passenger, Cameron Carson, jumped out holding a rifle and a backpack, tossing them over the barrier before fleeing on foot. He was later caught by responding troopers near a hospital exit ramp. Inside the tossed backpack, troopers found about 5.5 ounces of marijuana, a Diamondback AR-15. The driver, Nikendra Gordon, and passenger Cameron Carson were both arrested and hit with a long list of charges, including felony fleeing, reckless driving, drug possession, and violating a protection order. On June 29th at approximately 2 p.m., as this incident began, officers with the Charles County Sheriff's Office responded to the Acton Lane in Waldorf for reports of a woman being assaulted by a man in a parking lot and a possible carjacking. Then Charles County Sheriff's officers responded and located the suspect, who decided to flee.
I'm behind you. You almost went head on with me. I'm behind him. Central Carolina behind is southbound 205. Southbound 205, number 1 lane, speed to 75. 759, number 1 lane, traffic is light, speed to 100. Passing Idlewood, speed 102, number 2 lane, 0 traffic.
Flying down the roadway at a reckless pace, the suspect miscalculated his turn. The vehicle slammed into a curb, launching it across lanes and into the opposite side of the road.
759, number 1 lane, 1050, 1050, 1050, 1050. The accident, 1050.
The chase ended deadly for the suspect. After losing control, the suspect slammed head-on into an oncoming truck, the violent impact instantly bringing the pursuit to a close. The driver was pronounced dead at the scene. The truck driver walked away without injuries, though shaken by the terrifying events that unfolded right in front of him. One more reminder that in a high-speed pursuit, it only takes a split second for everything to go from reckless to irreversible. On October 14, 2021, Atlanta police received an urgent lookout. A murder suspect was on the run in the victim's stolen car. The victim, 36-year-old Ashley Thompson, had been found shot to death just hours earlier. Investigators quickly identified the suspect as Nigel Andrews, a man with a violent history, now armed, dangerous, and desperate to escape. The trooper maneuvered into position and executed a flawless pit, spinning the Altima into a curb and bringing it to a stop. The suspect bailed out and ran, but he didn't make it far. Troopers chased him down, deployed a taser, and put him in cuffs. The man was identified as Nigel Andrews, wanted for murder, and handed over to Atlanta police homicide detectives. It was April 11, 2018 in Delaware County, Ohio, when a police closed in on 46-year-old Rudel Chapman, an armed robbery suspect with an outstanding warrant. When deputies tried to stop him, Chapman had only one response. The pursuit quickly escalated, pulling in multiple agencies: sheriff's deputies, local police, even the U.S. Marshals Service.
across, guys.
We're down, Lemon.
I'm going to crash with a different vehicle area.
To take this chase to another level of danger, Chatman veered into the opposite lanes, barreling head-on into traffic the wrong way. Drivers swerved to save themselves as headlights flashed toward him. Deputies had no choice but to dive into his path, following him into the chaos.
Wrong way on 71. There's a way that we can take him out before we get too fast here. The first red door, pull the pass. 4 miles an hour. We need to end this to stop the pursuit here.
And then came the moment no trooper ever wants to face, a pit gone wrong. Instead of spinning Chatman out safely, the maneuver sent his vehicle slamming straight into an innocent driver. Miraculously, the other motorist survived with only minor injuries and was treated at a nearby hospital. Chatman himself needed medical attention before being booked into the county jail. Now I want to hear your thoughts. Was this just a horribly timed pit under extreme pressure, or should the trooper have waited for a better chance? You've heard of high-stakes fugitive hunts, but did you know Georgia's State Patrol has a special unit built just for this? Felony troopers who specialize in tracking down the most dangerous criminals on the run. On June 9th, 2021, they put that training to the test. This wasn't just any pursuit. The man behind the wheel was wanted for murder, accused of killing his own family member. When troopers caught sight of the suspect's Dodge Dart, they knew there was no room for error. Knowing how dangerous this suspect was and that he was willing to shoot, troopers had no time to waste. After he tried to run down a pedestrian, the lead trooper made a split-second decision. There was no waiting for backup, no more warnings. With lives on the line, he took responsibility and went for the pit.
North. Nope, staying 285. Pit, 943 is pit. 1050, he's still moving, he's still rolling. He's coming at you, 4943, coming at you. Get on the ground, now! Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Do not shoot! Do not shoot!
The suspect fled on foot, reached for a gun, and aimed it at officers. Fearing for their lives and those of others nearby, troopers opened fire, striking the suspect and ending the threat. He was secured, disarmed, and given medical treatment at the scene. He was then transported to the hospital where he was later pronounced dead. The pursuit was over, but not before it tested the nerves, training, and courage of every trooper involved. Now here's something different. This chase didn't happen in the US or Europe. We're in South Africa, where private security teams like SNIPR, Connect, and NOJAC take stolen vehicle recovery to the next level. On June 3, 2024, the SNIPR Connect team received intel about a white VW T-Cross that had just attempted to steal another car in Benoni. Thanks to a tip from the public, Awi Grayling spotted the suspects and without hesitation began chasing them.
Negative, they're running. Jets, they're running. Way in 12 breach, no, direction Elridge. Yeah, guys, come. They're gonna make their way that way. Yeah, positive. Take note. They're chasing. They're driving like into oncoming traffic. I'm gonna lose these oaks. You guys need to push. Right towards RTC. Direction Empress.
You probably noticed the officer speaking English, and to clear up any confusion, English is one of South Africa's 11 official languages. Now, back to the chase. The suspects were clearly endangering everyone on the road, and unlike in the US, or guess where roads are wider and more forgiving, South African roads offer far less room for error. Still, the officer stayed locked in, carefully tracking the suspects while waiting for backup to close in.
Okay, guys, straight over, direction Empress. We in front of Empress entrance now. Yeah, guys, they're running. Okay, they're going underneath the R21.
Hey, we're behind you again. Can you leave the bike on stop? Can you leave the bike in first?
Ja, dit is op die agterpad, Old Pretoria Road. By Griffiths nou, hulle gaan reguit. Stop hulle!
The fact that this suspect was still driving with one tire missing is insane. South Africa doesn't just have wild chases, they redefine them, but it couldn't last forever. Moments later, his car gave up, surrounded by patrol units with nowhere left to run.
Yeah, we tried to box it in at Griffiths, he jumped the pavement.
At first glance, it looked like a cartel takedown, men in plain clothes surrounding the suspects like professionals, but this wasn't a cartel, this was SNIPR Connect, and NOJAC doing what they do best, hunting down vehicle thieves in South Africa. The chase was over, and the suspects were taken into custody. In Jacksonville, Florida, in a broad daylight, what should have been a normal afternoon spiraled into chaos when Florida Highway Patrol got word of a stolen Volkswagen Jetta. Troopers moved fast, and it didn't take long before one of them spotted the car. But when the lights came on, the suspect had no intention of pulling over.
Roselle, get back on I-10, eastbound. crash 10-4 Jacks. It's going to be Florida 28 of November, Victor Alpha, Victor 46. It's going to be on a Volkswagen Jetta.
Number 20, that's 155,
It's going to be 95 southbound. 95 southbound coming up to San Marco. Original violation was to pull him over for improper lane change. Got off in the Stockton exit going eastbound, going westbound. Started running red lights, Jacks. 131. His traffic is moderate. Speed is 95.
As the stolen Jetta hit the highway, the chase turned into a high-speed game of survival. The suspect swerved across lanes, pushing well over the limit, nearly clipping cars as he weaved through traffic. Every time the trooper closed in, the driver panicked. With traffic heavy and innocent drivers caught in the middle, troopers had to time their move carefully if they ever got an opportunity.
Passing Atlantic. Roger, shoulder Jack. Still moderate traffic. Still southbound 95 Jackson's trying to weave in and out of lanes. Still trying to evade me. Southbound 95 coming into Emerson.
Jackson, I-01.
The suspect's driving only got wilder, cutting across lanes, squeezing between cars, even bouncing off the shoulder like he thought he was starring in some Hollywood chase scene. But this wasn't a movie. Every sharp swerve, every reckless move was just writing his own ending. And there was no way it would play out any other way than the crash waiting ahead.
Still southbound 95 Jacks. Traffic is still moderate. Passing Emerson. Jacks, you just hit the sign. Hit the Singapore. Get out of the vehicle! Put your hands up! Close your eyes! Close your eyes! You get flash in your face! Hey, come over here!
After the crash, the suspect was trapped inside the wrecked Jetta. Troopers smashed the window, pulled him out, and placed him under arrest without further incident. The stolen car was left completely destroyed, a mangled reminder of the chaos he caused. One thing is certain, this suspect won't be behind the wheel anytime soon. February 3rd, 2025. What began as a routine traffic stop for speeding on Interstate 40 exploded into a high-speed, high-risk pursuit. Behind the wheel of an orange and black Dodge Charger, Brandon Williams wasn't just fast, he had something to hide. But when the trooper approached, the stop turned into chaos.
Trooper Evans, Arkansas State Police, I'm out with you for your speed. Got you at 83 miles per hour when you're coming at me. Have your license, registration, proof of insurance? Okay. How much marijuana do you have in the vehicle? Okay. Do you have any firearms inside the vehicle? Go ahead and turn your car off for me. Step back here to my car.
The trooper sprinted back to his patrol unit, radioing for backup as his lights came alive. Other units began to converge, and the chaos on Interstate 40 officially erupted.
282.
Even at speeds topping 140 miles per hour, the trooper matched every move, closing the gap inch by inch before lunging forward and striking the Dodge.
Move! You're gonna get shot! Do you understand? You move, you get shot! Get on the ground!
Evans pinned him from behind, and in seconds, the Charger was trapped for good. Inside that bag, 90 grams of marijuana, with more in his pocket and a digital scale in the car. Williams was bleeding, frustrated, and facing a long list of charges. His high-speed gamble had cost him more than just his car. It ended with 2 damaged patrol units, an injured suspect, and a very short trip from the interstate to jail. It was January 23, 2025 in Lee County, Florida, when a suspect behind the wheel of a Dodge pickup thought he could outrun Florida Highway Patrol. But what he didn't know was that he chose the wrong troopers to play with, and they were about to prove it. At first, it looked like the chase would be over before it even began, but the suspect managed to break free, but troopers were hot on his tail.
Let me see your hand! 10-4, L2, 1318. Let me see your hand, bro! John, where are you hurt at? John, show me your hands! Put your hands up! Walk over the guardrail! Walk towards me!
After a brief struggle to get him out of the truck, the suspect finally complied and was taken into custody without further incident. While details are still limited, one thing's for sure, he won't be getting out anytime soon. On July 4th, 2025, it was Independence Day in Arkansas. While most people were grilling burgers or heading to the lake, one man decided fireworks weren't enough. John Robert Stevenson Jr. was behind the wheel of a purple Dodge Charger, and instead of celebrating freedom, he was about to test it at 167 miles per hour. When Corporal Bob Love lit him up on I-530, Stevenson wasn't slowing down. He blasted past traffic on the shoulder, weaving through lanes and pushing the Charger far beyond its limits.
Primary.
Yeah, 25, they're like, I'll be you primary.
He's got a gap on it. He's cutting in and out. Other people are primary. I'm not sure if it's primary or secondary, but I'm third. I'm westbound to Service Road, speed over 100.
Back on interstate.
Radar locked him at 158 in a 75, more than double the speed limit. As the chase roared north, Stevenson slipped off at exit 24, vanishing into the back roads. Troopers fanned out, scanning for the purple muscle car. For a moment, it seemed like he was gone. But dispatch wasn't done. Word came in that the Charger was spotted again, this time on I-530 near the 7-mile marker. Troop A units jumped in, and the pursuit reignited.
On the third row now. Still on the third row, 30 westbound.
We are passing to PDASP with Benton.
10-4.
Forward to 20.
Eventually, the Charger wrecked out and troopers closed in, bringing Stevenson's run to a violent end. Stevenson's reckless ride didn't just end with a wrecked Charger. It ended with a mountain of charges. Fleeing with serious injury, multiple counts of battery, reckless driving, fictitious tags, and more traffic violations than we can count. From 167 miles an hour to a cold jail cell, proof that no matter how fast you think you are, Arkansas State Police will catch up. On September 5th, 2025, in Russellville, Arkansas, a silver Honda Accord rockets down Sparksford Drive, pushing 50 in a 30. What should have been a simple traffic stop quickly turned into something else entirely. The driver was identified as Nathan Jose Aleman.
It's a silver Honda passenger car against Central Hill. We're going south towards the interstate on 123. 27, stand by, 13. Your day, 1060, very late, correct. Turning east on I-40. Boy Frank Mary 41 Young.
On the interstate, Aleman cranked the Accord to 130 miles per hour, weaving across lanes, blasting down the shoulder and turning rush hour traffic into his personal slalom course. But it seemed he was a little bit unfamiliar with the route, which he will show as the chase progressed. Exiting at Pottsville at over 100 miles per hour, he skipped a stop sign and went airborne off a curb before bouncing into a commuter lot, somehow regaining control, and swinging back onto U.S. Highway 64.
He's crashed out, he's crashed out. Crashed out, 236. 1022, he's going east on 64 now. A lot of smoke coming from his vehicle. I'm not sure if the truck can go.
Get on the ground. Get on the ground. Turn around. Get on the ground. Now, face down.
A precise strike to the driver's side sent the Honda spinning into a ditch, finally bringing the chase to an end. Taken into custody with no further fight, Aleman was transported to the hospital before being booked on a stack of charges, from felony fleeing to reckless driving and speeding over 130 miles an hour. On January 21st, 2024, in Mayflower, Arkansas, what began as a shoplifting call in Conway quickly escalated into a dangerous multi-jurisdiction pursuit. Behind the wheel of a stolen Toyota RAV4 was a driver desperate to escape. But what she didn't know was that Arkansas State Police troopers were moving in to end it. The chase weaved through narrow back roads and busy intersections as the suspect pushed her RAV4 into oncoming lanes, nearly colliding with civilian traffic. Speed stayed dangerously high as the suspect barreled east on Highway 89, forcing troopers to look for an opening to shut her down. Each attempt at a TV was blocked, the driver swerving and mirroring trooper movements.
I haven't made contact with him yet. I'm just trying to get position.
If they got Cabot heading that way, if they get spiked this time, I'll let you know.
As the suspect blew through a red light, traffic forced her to slow. The trooper seized the chance, sliding into position for a pit. But the move didn't stick. Moments later, the pursuit entered Cabot's West Main Street. The roadway widened, traffic cleared, and there were no more excuses. She bailed from the driver's seat and tried to run, but after a short foot chase, Trooper tackled her to the ground and took her into custody. Inside the RAV4, Conway police found a large haul of stolen merchandise, linking the suspect directly to the shoplifting call that started it all. Her charges included felony fleeing, shoplifting, and driving on a suspended license. Did you know that in high-speed chases, some suspects will toss evidence out of the car in hopes it vanishes for good? But what they don't realize, especially on highways, is that dash cams and body cams often capture everything. And in this case, that strategy failed badly. On April 6, 2021, just before midnight, a Forsyth County pursuit began heating up on State Route 400. A potentially impaired driver hurling objects from his window at over 100 miles per hour. When troopers joined the pursuit, things escalated quickly.
He's all over the road, radio. Continuing southbound 2.
One down.
He's brake checking me. Trying to steer him into stop and go for a pit.
One up there, everybody north of 13, 16. 2 units closest, continue.
Just having trouble maintaining his lane still. He just threw a cigarette out the window.
Where's the Genesis? Wait, is there nothing on building?
As the chase progressed, the suspect began swerving erratically across all lanes, clearly trying to prevent a pit. But the trooper stayed locked in, waiting for the right moment to end it.
Radio, go ahead and notify Roswell, Sandy Springs, if we can't get the bike stripped out.
10-4 that returns back to the Toyota Tundra out of Columbia County.
You done now, boy.
When GSP troopers took over the pursuit, they didn't waste time. It took just a little over 30 seconds for them to end it.
We've crossed 285. We're by the old tow booth. Looks like they're about to pit him. No, they pit him. 41. He's flipped and rolled and hit the wall.
Clear on 41.
Holy!
75 10, ready, 25, everybody else, go back in the county, I'll be out for a second.
Now let's take a look at how it all unfolded through the lens of the GSP troopers' dash cam.
Hit it.
Extremely 1049.
50 to 50.
With backup close behind, troopers moved in, guns drawn. The driver, Jansen Cardell Jones, was quickly taken into custody without further resistance. He was driving on a suspended license, had multiple active warrants, and reportedly tossed drug-related items from the car during the chase. In the end, Mr. Jones was booked on a list of charges, including felony fleeing, DUI, and reckless driving. On September 29, 2023, Arkansas state troopers were in pursuit of a motorcycle whose rider was flying over the speed limit and refusing to stop for lights and sirens. The situation quickly escalated and the pursuing trooper called for backup. That's when Trooper Matthew Walker responded and wasted no time taking over as the primary unit.
turning back southbound. Stay on King George. Coming back up to Barnes Icy. Got one car on the way.
The biker clearly had some skills, but would that be enough to outrun this state trooper? Pause the video and let me know down in the comments. What do you think?
Coming up to Don Tyson. Might get on bridge, take southbound. Got 49 southbound.
As the chase hit the highway, things went from bad to worse. The suspect cranked it up, pushing the bike to over 130 miles per hour. This wasn't just a pursuit anymore, it was a full-blown high-speed sprint with lives on the line. At those speeds, and with the suspect weaving all over the road, it was tough for the trooper to keep up. But the suspect ran out of gas and was forced to stop, now trying to hide in the median by laying down, hoping troopers would pass him by. They spotted him instantly. He stood up and took off on foot. Look.
On interstate.
Stop! I'm gonna tase you!
The suspect fled into the woods, and just like that, all the chasing was for nothing. Under the cover of night, he disappeared without a trace. If it had been daylight, he probably wouldn't have made it far, but unfortunately, he was never identified and never arrested. Street takeovers have become a growing problem in cities across the country. They're dangerous and often end in chaos. But what happens when one of these reckless drivers pushes their luck a little too far? Well, on May 15, 2022, that's exactly what happened. Trooper Gonzalez received intel about an organized stunt driving crew causing chaos at North Avenue and Spring Street. When he arrived, he saw a silver Lexus IS 300 doing donuts in the intersection, nearly hitting multiple vehicles. The driver then made an even worse decision.
northbound. Clear, westbound, northbound. North side. Clear, past the north side drive. Go right, northbound, north side drive. Four, make a right, northbound, north side drive, go ahead. Put it. Driving out of it. Watch it, make it up. Say it again, Atlanta. I got the dog.
Trooper Gonzalez managed to execute a pit, causing the suspect's Lexus to rotate, but it wasn't over yet. Another trooper moved in and landed a second pit, bringing the car to a complete stop. Now, let's switch to the second trooper's perspective and see how it all came together. The driver, identified as Yahir Alexander Vega, was taken into custody. His juvenile passenger, Czar Salazar, later told troopers he repeatedly begged Vega to let him out, fearing for his life during the wild pursuit, but Vega refused. Vega was read his rights, medically cleared, and booked into the Fulton County Jail without further incident. On March 1st, 2024, North Little Rock police were in pursuit of a stolen truck, doing everything they could to bring it to a stop. But as the chase escalated and control started slipping away, they called in backup. That's when Arkansas State Trooper Kennedy joined the pursuit, ready to finish what they started.
Start with me, the unit 10 again. 84-1037. On direct. The next directed for Adam 84-1037.
Off the median over the north
road. You want me to start that way?
Turning up towards Reynolds.
Take it one way bridge. Three to 84, Air Force getting
We're going south on Reynolds.
South on Reynolds.
First chance I got.
Little Rock is that's all for 29.
Taking 123, going back eastbound, South Service Road.
Get on the South Service Road and headed back east.
South Service Road headed east.
The moment Trooper Kennedy took over, he realized this wouldn't be an easy stop. The suspect was all over the road, pushing past 100 miles per hour, weaving through traffic like he had nothing to lose.
Traffic's still pretty heavy. Coming up on the 124.
124 heavy traffic. 2350, there's a code 9, Commerce and 183. 23, 21. Taking 124 heavy. 90 mile an hour. Taking the 124.
TBI South
124. 124.
And he tried to bail on foot. Looks like Little Rock's 215.
With two well-executed pit maneuvers, Trooper Kennedy brought the chase to an end. The suspect jumped out and tried to run, but within seconds he realized there was nowhere left to go. He surrendered and he was taken into custody without further incident, and learned the hard way why you never flee from Arkansas State Troopers. On March 2nd, 2023, Trooper James Byrd clocked a white Lexus speeding past his stationary position. He lit it up, and the driver pulled over. Just another routine stop, or so it seemed. But the moment Trooper Byrd stepped out of his cruiser, the Lexus took off. As the pursuit hit the interstate, the situation escalated fast. The driver weaved across lanes at over 110 miles per hour, showing zero regard for anyone's safety. Trooper Byrd stayed locked in, knowing this level of recklessness couldn't go unchecked.
If you're trying to cut you off, go ahead and put him in a ditch. Just head over here.
Yeah, we're in. I see it.
He's about to touch him on the right shoulder. He's not on the right.
As the suspect tore down the highway, another trooper merged into the chase and took over as primary. With fresh positioning and determination, he wasted no time, looking for any chance to shut this down before it got even worse.
In the median. In the median. Right here from the field.
Trooper executed a pit, sending the Lexus straight into the ditch. But somehow the suspect climbed out and took off on foot, thinking he still had a shot. That hope didn't last long. Troopers were right on him, making the arrest before he could disappear. No further details have been released, but one thing's for sure. He won't be getting behind the wheel of that car ever again. On March 3rd, 2023, just before 10 a.m., Arkansas troopers were alerted to a fresh vehicle theft out of St. Francis County. A red 2016 GMC Sierra had just been stolen from Shell Lake Grocery, and the suspect was already heading eastbound on I-40. Flying down the wet interstate at nearly 100 miles per hour. Troopers Fultz and Harper moved in to intercept.
I'm behind it right now, 276. Speed's 93. Call it for me, 20.
trooper executed a high-speed TVI, spinning the truck into a guardrail and bringing it to a stop. Troopers performed a felony takedown on the driver, 19-year-old Jeremiah Green out of Memphis, Tennessee. He had no valid license, and worse, a full extradition warrant for felony theft out of Shelby County. Green was arrested, checked by EMS, and booked into the Crittenden County Detention Center. The truck was recovered and towed, thanks to quick action and flawless execution by the troopers. A dangerous pursuit was ended before it could escalate further. On December 10, 2024, in Arkansas, what began as a routine traffic stop quickly escalated when a white Dodge Challenger, driven by Dontarius Gordon, refused to pull over. Within seconds, speeds climbed past 120 miles per hour as the pursuit erupted. At 126 miles per hour, a TVI sent the Dodge crashing into the cable barrier, finally bringing it to a halt. But Gordon wasn't finished. He bolted from the car, sprinting toward the shoulder as the trooper gave chase. The foot pursuit turned into a struggle on the grass. Gordon slipped, tried to regain his footing, and fought back as the trooper wrestled him down. Blows were exchanged, leverage was gained, and with the help of a passing motorist, Gordon was finally subdued. Soon after, backup arrived, and Gordon was placed in handcuffs. Inside the Challenger, officers discovered marijuana and paraphernalia. He was charged with felony fleeing, resisting arrest, possession of drugs, and unauthorized use of property, among others. Deputies with the Doña Ana County Sheriff's Office began receiving frantic calls. A child was behind the wheel of an SUV, recklessly tearing through the Las Alturas area. The driver wasn't just young, he was only 12 years old. When deputies tried to stop him, the boy refused. What followed was a pursuit unlike anything most officers ever expect to see. The SUV darted through residential streets, swerving through parking lots, at one point stopping just long enough to pick up 3 more kids ages 12 to 15.
Were you able to get a license plate on the big?
The chase became even more dangerous as the stolen SUV plowed through motel lots and cut across a Kmart parking lot, deputies struggling to keep up. Then it took a devastating turn. The boy drove the wrong way down a roadway.
Movie theater. To the 45 the 25 exit behind Sam.
Out! No, hard! The out! Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Get down! Get down!
Miraculously, the 12-year-old walked away uninjured, but inside the other vehicle, there were children, and the driver was rushed to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. When deputies confronted the boy, the body cam told the rest of the story. Crying, shaken, and clutching to excuses, he told officers it wasn't his fault, that the other kids had forced him to drive. But deputies weren't buying it. Ammunition for a 9mm handgun was found on him, and soon after, the gun itself was recovered along the chase route. The boy was taken into custody and booked into the Doña Ana County Detention Center, not just for aggravated fleeing, but also on an outstanding warrant for conspiracy to commit burglary of a vehicle. On January 1st, 2024, a Monona police officer noticed an SUV make a sudden turn, appearing to avoid contact. The officer followed the vehicle into a parking lot, but instead of stopping, the driver turned around and sped off down Nichols Road. A pursuit began, with speeds climbing over 80 miles per hour. The suspect's reckless driving helped him slip out of the officer's sight. But as they say, you can run, but you can't outrun the radio. With help from radio communication, the officer was able to locate the suspect once again. Dane County Sheriff's deputies attempted to stop the SUV with a spike strip, but the effort failed. But seconds later, the SUV blew through a stop sign and slammed into a tree. All three occupants, 30-year-olds Rashad Nelson and Aaron Willis, and 19-year-old Ajaya Rai, were pronounced dead at the scene. None of them were wearing seatbelts. Inside the vehicle, officers reportedly found 2 stolen guns and marijuana. Toxicology reports later revealed that the driver had THC, methamphetamine, and promethazine in their system at the time of the crash. It was June 20th, 2024, when a trooper Elvis Nolasco with Florida Highway Patrol's Criminal Interdiction Unit spotted a white Mercedes on the Florida Turnpike. A quick tag check revealed the driver had a suspended license and a seized tag order. When Trooper lit him up, the Mercedes didn't slow down. It sped up and the chase was on.
Hit in the shoulder at the northbound at the 149, passing traffic. Passing on the right shoulder, passing 151.5, speeds 114 miles per hour, traffic is like next to. Green light, green light, green light.
As the chase progressed, Sergeant Pollock joined in, keeping radio traffic steady as the Mercedes shot back onto I-95. At 100+ miles per hour, the driver tried an illegal U-turn across the grassy median, slamming into an SUV in the process. The trooper lined up a second pit and this time spinning the Mercedes, but even then, the suspect fought to recover. Trooper wasn't taking chances. He hit the car again, forcing it disabled on the ramp. His own cruiser slid out, colliding with road signs, leaving him pinned next to the suspect's car. Gun drawn, he held the passenger at bay until backup arrived. With K9 Uno and other troopers moving in, both men were finally pulled from the Mercedes and taken into custody. Inside the car, troopers uncovered cocaine, oxycodone, MDMA, marijuana, and drug paraphernalia. The driver, 28-year-old Derek Taylor Jr., racked up a list of charges: reckless driving, felony fleeing, leaving the scene of a crash, possession of multiple narcotics, and driving on a suspended license as a habitual offender. His passenger, William Woods, was also hit with drug charges. Both were medically cleared before being booked into St. Lucie County Jail. Christmas Eve turned deadly on Interstate 40. A simple traffic stop spiraled into a high-speed chase, ending with one suspect dead, a wrecked SUV, and a shocking stash of weapons and drugs. This is the final ride of a man who chose to run from Arkansas State Police and paid the ultimate price. It began at 8:30 p.m. on December 24, 2024. A Honda Pilot was clocked doing 98 miles per hour. The trooper initiated a stop near the 66-mile marker, but instead of cooperation, the driver gave a fake name and false date of birth, trying to hide outstanding warrants for fleeing, false ID, and drug charges in Virginia.
Hello, Trooper Clokey, State Police. I had you at 98 miles per hour at one point. Huh? I had you at 98.
98.
Yeah, you were. Yep, 100%.
I've got to pee so bad.
Okay,
I was trying to find an exit. The truck, he's swerving in the damn lane. That big truck, sir.
Actually, I saw you swerving and you were speeding. Yeah, if you don't think you were going 98, then we got a big problem there because you weren't paying attention.
Oh,
so.
no.
Do you have your driver's license?
Actually, I have a traveler's ID, but please.
I'll work with you. I just need to see your license, registration, insurance card.
Yeah, I have a traveler's ID.
Can I see your driver's ID?
I don't have it with me.
Yeah, the license plate on the car, does it go to this?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, I'll be right back with you, okay? Just hang tight for me. Hey, what's up?
Not much. You needing something? I'm not too close, but I heard you hollering on the radio.
Yeah, I got a guy that said he's a sovereign citizen, and he's traveling, not driving, so I think I might have some issues with him. I'm not sure yet, but I was just going to see if somebody could at least ease their way towards me and I don't have to drive fast or anything.
As the trooper spoke with the driver, something felt off. His instincts were sharp, and so was the tension. He quietly radioed for backup, asking another trooper to be ready. Moments later, those suspicions turned real, and fast.
79 J26, I'm at the 84. Still coming to you.
1037.
Troopers pursued westbound down Interstate 40, racing through Arkansas in a tense and dangerous chase. The road conditions were far from ideal, and as the suspect pushed his speed even higher, the lead trooper knew it was time to act.
TVI. Then 1016, roll over.
The trooper performed a TVI, sending the Honda into the woods where it slammed into trees and disintegrated on impact. The driver, unbelted, was pronounced dead at the scene. Debris from the engine was scattered in the brush, and troopers recovered 5 cell phones, a walkie-talkie, a taser, nearly 5 ounces of cocaine, and a revolver with 1 spent round still warm. Florida is one of the few states where troopers are trained and authorized to perform pit maneuvers at highway speeds, so running from them is a losing game from the start. On December 20th, 2024, Florida Highway Patrol attempted to stop a vehicle driving in the wrong lane on State Road 79 in Washington County, but instead of pulling over, the driver hit the gas, kicking off a dangerous high-speed chase.
All I'm getting is 18. Is it 1834? Go ahead. Turn into a cemetery. Your radio's cutting out. You back northbound?
The suspect's driving went from bad to worse, swerving all over the road and even driving straight into oncoming traffic. Luckily, there weren't many cars on the road at the time, or this could have ended in disaster. As the chase spiraled further out of control, the trooper knew he had to stop him as soonest as possible. The trooper had definitely had enough of this suspect's dangerous games, and just as the suspect slowed down for a moment, he decided to drive straight into the suspect's car.
Signal 4, and both of you need EMS.
The suspect, Alex Daniel, was quickly apprehended and charged with fleeing, reckless driving, speeding, and possession of a controlled substance. After the first pit didn't stop him, the trooper made sure to do it again just a few moments later. On June 12, 2023, Pierce County Sheriff's deputies were alerted after a 911 call reported a carjacking at gunpoint. The suspect forced the driver out and took off, but what he didn't know was that an AirTag was still inside the vehicle. Deputies locked onto the signal, and it wasn't long before the chase was on.
Making contact with car 1239.
We're going westbound 320 south.
Westbound 320. Everybody around us. He's wearing red, like he had a hat, maybe a white rag underneath.
From the very start, deputies knew this wasn't going to be easy. Despite multiple patrol cars in pursuit, the suspect showed zero intention of stopping, and it quickly became clear he was willing to do whatever it took to get away. After weaving through tight, curvy roads, the suspect merged onto the highway, bringing his reckless driving to a much busier stage. He kept pushing hard, but now surrounded by traffic, the real danger of this pursuit was just beginning.
He lost the tire, watch it, he's on rim. Don't know what that was.
Even after losing a tire, the suspect kept swerving across lanes, so wildly even the deputy was surprised. With traffic all around, they couldn't make a move just yet. But minutes later, a stretch of open road appeared, and that was all they needed.
Still southbound, medium traffic, speeds are 62. Quit for a pit. Car wrecked out. Get it blocked in.
What direction?
The suspect bailed out on foot, but he was quickly taken down by deputies. But the chase wasn't over yet. Inside the stolen car was a female passenger, left behind as flames began to engulf the vehicle. As the car fire spread to dry grass and 2 patrol units, deputies and a Tacoma police officer sprang into action. They pulled the screaming woman from the burning wreck just in time. Both she and the suspect were taken to a local hospital, he with crash injuries, she with smoke inhalation. The suspect, with a long criminal record, now faces multiple charges including first-degree robbery, unlawful possession of a firearm, attempting to elude, and identity theft. His bail was set at $250,000. And while the car was lost, the woman who owned it is safe and now raising funds to get back on the road. In Lee County, Florida, on July 8, 2025, what starts as a Chevy Silverado flying down I-75 at nearly 100 miles per hour quickly unravels into chaos. Behind the wheel, Kevin Donald Reardon II, a man whose day went from reckless to downright bizarre. Behind him, Florida Highway Patrol with multiple troopers ready to shut him down. Trooper Hernandez locked onto the Silverado first, clocking it weaving through traffic like a pinball. Lights and sirens flipped on, but instead of pulling over, Reardon faked it. He tapped his brakes, signaled as if to stop, then hammered the gas, and the chase was on.
Go ahead.
As another trooper picked up the chase, Reardon wasn't done with his reckless game. He swerved hard, slamming into the patrol car, trying to take it out of commission. Maybe he thought it worked once, so he went for it again. But this time, it backfired. Instead of knocking the trooper out, the move only made things worse for Reardon. Still pushing over 100 miles per hour on just 3 tires, Reardon blew through a stop sign at Tucker's Grade. That's where Trooper Riley cut him off and shoved the Silverado into the grass. Inside, the truck troopers found 6 empty liquor bottles, 4 full ones, weed, paraphernalia, and prescription meds. And Reardon himself? He reeked of alcohol, later testing at a blood alcohol level of 0.152. But the shocker came at the hospital, when medical staff discovered he'd smuggled a bottle of pills inside his own body. Hours later, he finally removed it, adding one last twist to a chase that already had it all. Reardon now faces a laundry list of charges: felony fleeing, DUI, possession, reckless driving, and more. His Silverado is trashed, multiple patrol cars were damaged, and his night ended in the Charlotte County Jail instead of on the open road. On Wednesday, July 30th, 2025, in North Little Rock, Arkansas, what began as a simple traffic stop for a Ford F-250 crossing the center line turned into a high-speed pursuit. When Trooper Tyler Riles initiated the stop in a Hobby Lobby parking lot, the driver, 44-year-old Zachary Brinson, chose to floor it instead of comply.
I'll be calling it. We're north on JFK, pass through.
Turn to left on Northfield.
Alright, you're going north. Just do it, buddy. Looks like we're going to come back out at 107, be north on 107.
Brinson drove recklessly, blowing through every red light and coming within inches of multiple collisions. The chaos didn't stop. But now, with Trooper closed behind, there was finally hope. This maniac in the truck would be stopped before someone got hurt.
Speed 100, light traffic. He is orbiting in and out. Northbound on 107, passing Jacksonville, speed to 8 minor traffic, however, they are yielding, keep leaving in and out if you could notify county. Still north on 107, coming up to Stonegate, speed 90, light traffic. Leaving in and out of traffic. 58 setting up for TBI.
After a pit attempt, the suspect's driving only got worse, but that kind of recklessness always comes back around. And when you're unfamiliar with the area, like he was, it's only a matter of time before it ends in the worst way possible.
He is caught one vehicle going off the roadway. It's going to be a gray. Your drive, speed 95. 10-4. Breakdown, Air Force Base 107, Air Force Base 107.
Put your hands on your back! Put your hands on your back!
After crashing through a chain-link gate at the back entrance of Little Rock Air Force Base and slamming into a concrete barrier, the truck was disabled, but Brinson wasn't done. He jumped out and tried to flee on foot. Moments later, a well-placed taser drop ended the chase for good. Brinson was taken to the hospital for evaluation before being booked into the Pulaski County Detention Center on multiple felony charges, including felony fleeing, reckless driving, and leaving the scene of an accident. It was August 27, 2024, when a Flagler County, Florida deputies were alerted that a blue Ferrari 488 Spider stolen during an armed home invasion in Rhode Island, was now tearing through their county. Behind the wheel was 19-year-old Jonathan Costa, wanted out of Cranston and considered armed and dangerous. When deputies tried to pull him over, Costa hit the gas, pushing the Ferrari past 100 miles per hour, weaving through traffic and barely missing other vehicles as the pursuit raced into Flagler County.
Southbound about there. Southbound about there.
The Ferrari's raw speed was too much for deputies on the ground. As it blasted through a school zone, they lost sight of the supercar entirely. But the skies told a different story. An eye in the sky locked onto the Ferrari, hidden behind a residential home. Deputies swarmed the location, moving in fast to cut off any chance of escape. After a tense standoff, Costa's friend Logan was the first to step out, surrendering without further incident.
10-4. It's right inside.
2 cats locked in a room.
What's that?
2 cats locked in a room.
Is that the one that's in there right now? Do y'all have access to any weapons in there?
All I know is like a BB gun in the back. That's all I know.
Okay, you don't know anything about any other guns or anything?
To the back of the house or the back of the car?
Any animals in there?
2 cats.
2 cats?
After another standoff, 19-year-old Jonathan Costa, the primary suspect, surrendered without further incident. He was placed in a patrol car and transported to the Sheriff Perry Hall inmate detention facility, held without bond. With charges still mounting as the investigation continues, this case proves once again, no matter how fast you are, the road always ends in jail. On September 19, 2017, the Brown Deer Police Department found themselves in pursuit of a stolen vehicle. What's remarkable, the suspect had barely made it a few blocks. Moments after the car was taken, an officer spotted it, and without hesitation, the chase was on.
Owner got out of the vehicle and the black belt took off.
Pulling into the BP, going northbound on 60th.
The suspect swerved wildly across lanes, even crashing into other vehicles. Then, in true GTA fashion, he led the officer into a parking lot, turning the chase into a reckless game of cat and mouse.
That's fine.
After leaving the parking lot, the suspect's driving became downright dangerous, blowing through intersections and showing no regard for anyone on the road. Strangely, the officer didn't press harder or attempt to stop him.
Westbound, again on the road.
The suspect was probably thinking, "This ain't working out," and finally came to a stop. The Brown Deer officer moved in with weapons drawn and took him into custody. Unfortunately, there's no footage of the arrest or any follow-up details, but this suspect definitely didn't drive away from a long list of charges.